All right, I just watched Gloom, Boom, and Doom, or Amendum, I'm not sure, one of his videos, and he said a lot of things that were absolutely true in that video. And he said a lot of things that were designed, as a lot of his videos are, to get you to feel emotional about something rather than actually doing something. He does it all the time. He will use emotional words and get people to feel the same hatred and disgust that he feels. Tonight, in the video, I'll post a link to it in the low bar, he was feeling that Richard Dawkins is a, quote, spiritual atheist. And he went on and on and on and on about Dawkins' spiritual atheism. I mean, there were so many points that he made that were to get you to feel emotional about the whole situation, that it justifies talking about, in a sense. I mean, he gets you to feel emotion, for example, about how Richard Dawkins must be wrong if he has some scale that goes from 1 to 7. What kind of scale, he says, goes from 1 to 7? What is he talking about? He also, in a recent video, talked about how life should be put out of its misery the way you would put out a misery dog. Well, that's not science. Boom, gloom, boom, and doom. It's not science, Amendum. That is your opinion, that life should be put out of its misery like a dog. Now, I'm going to read a quote which is not hard science. Hard science is not something you, gloom, boom, doom, engage in. It's not. You engage in a lot of getting people to feel the same emotion you do, and you also engage in a lot of making broad statements like we need to stop all life, to stop all suffering, and getting people to feel the same emotion that you feel. And you admitted it in your more recent video, most recent, well, the last 10 minutes or whatever it was. You admitted that basically it's not about the argument, it's about how much you can get people to feel the same emotion you're feeling. Well, I want to actually feel something that makes life, in spite of the drawbacks, makes it have a possibility of being meaningful. And I think that in The Selfish Gene and a lot of his writings, that is exactly what Richard Dawkins is trying to do. He sees evolution. He doesn't see it exactly the way I do, but I'm not the expert he is. So I'm going to bow to his expertise. And even though I disagree with 2 sentences in this excerpt, I want to read them to you, because Gloom, Boom, and Doom, or Amendum, or whatever, will tell you this is spiritual atheism. And I want to know if you, listening to this, actually think it is spiritual atheism, or if it is in fact very informed scientific opinion expressing a hope for the future of humankind and of life here as we find it on Earth. Here's what Richard Dawkins says at the end of The Selfish Gene. We have the mental equipment to foster our long-term selfish interests rather than merely our short-term selfish interests. We can see the long-term benefits of participating in a conspiracy of doves, and we can sit together to discuss ways to make the conspiracy work. We have the power to defy the selfish genes of our birth and, if necessary, the selfish memes of our indoctrination. We can even discuss ways of cultivating and nurturing pure disinterested altruism, something that has no place in nature, something that has never existed before in the history of the world. We are built as gene machines and cultured as meme machines, but we have the power to turn against our creators. We alone on earth can rebel against the tyranny of selfish replicators. I mean, if you are a non-believer and you have the will to turn against organized religion, then why can't you do what Richard Dawkins suggests and turn against your selfish replicators? Why can't you turn against it and stop buying the emotions rather than depth and arguments that really will get us somewhere? Why can't we do that? Why? Why?